Did you catch this odd moment during the Sky vs. Dreams game where Angel Reese was calling for the ball like she needed to take a game-winning shot even though her team was 7 points up with 18 seconds left in the game? I don't know about you, but something's a little off here. Actually, I have a theory about why she did that, and in case you're wondering, I'm not alone on this. Popular ESPN analyst Robert Griffin III noticed the same thing along with many other basketball fans. So what exactly was she trying to do there? Is that the legacy she wants to create for herself in the WNBA? Seriously, Angel Reese has been getting quite a lot of negative attention lately, and it's time we talk about it. The 2023-24 WNBA season got off to an exciting start, with a number of talented players coming into the league. One of those players is, of course, no other than Angel Reese. Since joining the league, Reese has established herself as one of the most talked about players in the league, and she appears to be enjoying all the attention she's getting. Now, those who are not familiar with her game and her style might think this craving for fame is a new trait that Reese just developed upon entering the league, but that's not the case. Reese has always enjoyed being in the spotlight, right from her days in college. Following a successful stint in which she won several personal and team accolades at St. Francis, Reese left high school as a 5-star recruit in the top wing in the 2020 class. She had offers from 24 NCAA Division I basketball teams, but at the end of the day, she settled for Maryland because it was close to her home and due to the influence of head coach Brenda Fries. Upon her arrival, Reese immediately became a standout player for the team. She scored a season-high 20 points and 9 rebounds in her very first game for the team in November 2020. It was pretty much clear that there was something special about her game. But just when we thought nothing could go wrong, Reese fractured her right foot in just her 4th game for Maryland. It was a dark moment in her career, but Reese refused to give up. Eventually, she returned to action in February 2021, and it was nothing short of special. She led Maryland to the Big Ten regular season and tournament titles, which ultimately earned her a spot on the Big Ten All-Freshman team. At the end of the season, she averaged 10 points and a staggering 6 rebounds per game. For her sophomore season, Reese set out to improve on her game, and she did just that. She averaged 17.8 points and 10.6 rebounds to become the first Maryland sophomore player to average a double-double since Angie Scott in 1975. Notice how much I emphasized the double-double? Well, remember this, because that's something I'll be talking about a lot in this video. So moving on, that same season, Reese led Maryland to the Sweet 16 of the 2022 NCAA tournament. In addition, she received First-Team All-Big Ten and AP All-America Third-Team honors, capping off a remarkable sophomore season. But despite the success, Reese decided that she wanted a new experience and a coach who could help harness her game in preparation for the WNBA. So she entered the transfer portal and landed at Louisiana State University, where she was mentored by coach Kim Mulkey. Coming into LSU, there was a lot of expectation on Reese's shoulders, especially based on her explosive performances at Maryland, and boy did she exceed it. She started off the campaign with 23 consecutive double-doubles, smashing Sylvia Fowles' previous LSU record of 19. By the end of the season, she had racked up 34 double-doubles, which remains an NCAA record up to this very day. For context, she scored a double-double in all but 2 games across the season, leading the Southeastern Conference in both scoring and rebounding, with 23 points and 15.4 rebounds per game. Reese was literally on fire that season, and as you can imagine, she had many great moments on the court, but a few of them really stood out from the rest, like the time she pulled off an insane block while holding one of her shoes.
Footwork by Angel Reese inside.
And of course, the day that she and her teammates won the first ever national championship in LSU history. To top it all off, she achieved this while averaging a double-double. It was the crowning moment of her season and proof that she made the right decision to leave Maryland for LSU. But she wasn't done yet. The next season, Reese led the NCAA again in both points and assists, with 19 points and 13 rebounds per game. Ultimately, this made her the first player since Wendy Schultens in 1989 and 1990 to lead the league in both stats over consecutive seasons. With all of these records in the bag, there was nothing left for Angel Reese to achieve in college. So, in April 2024, she did a photo shoot in collaboration with Vogue to officially announce her intention to go pro, saying this: "I've done everything I wanted to in college. I've won a national championship, I've gotten Southeastern Conference Player of the Year, I've been an All-American. My ultimate goal is to be a pro, and to be one of the greatest basketball players to play, ever. I feel like I'm ready." True to her words, Angel Reese has so far shown that she was indeed ready for the league, but not exactly in the way that you would expect. Instead of focusing on her game and just doing her thing on the court, she seems to be more interested in competing with Caitlin Clark. Somehow she's been able to manufacture a senseless rivalry between herself and Clark, and the media seem to be running with it when, in actual fact, there's no rivalry. It's not even close. I mean, Clark is a generational talent with the potential to become the greatest player ever in women's basketball. Reese, on the other hand, is just another player who's trying to force her name into the conversation. Now, some fans might argue that she's having a good season, and that's true. Her averages of 13.5 points and 12 rebounds per game are remarkable for a rookie. But those stats may not exactly reflect her performance on the court. Let me explain. Recently, social media has been going crazy about Angel Reese and her insane double-double streak in the WNBA. All this drama started back in June when she scored 13 points and 10 rebounds for the Chicago Sky against the New York Liberty. Sky ended up losing the game 85-77, but for Reese, it was the beginning of a famous streak that would see her stock rise tremendously. From one game to another, she was racking up points and crashing the board to keep the streak alive. Soon, she made it 13 consecutive games of scoring double-doubles, equaling the record Candace Parker set between 2009 and 2010. This feat earned her accolades from everywhere, including from Parker.
I think it's unbelievable what she's been able to accomplish, and it's been so cool to see her relish in people telling her she can't and she won't be successful, and to see her grow throughout this season has been remarkable.
Reese would go on to extend this record to 15 consecutive games of scoring double-doubles. She was on a roll, or so we thought. You see, looking at her stats on the surface, it's easy to conclude that Reese was out there dominating on the court every night, and her double-double record is legit. But when you watch the games, you realize this isn't as impressive as it seems. In reality, Reese was intentionally padding her stats to keep the streak alive. Many fans have been saying Reese is only getting double-doubles because she gets her own misses.
Having an off night field goal percentage-wise, but it's not keeping her from getting on the glass, getting second, third, fourth, multiple efforts to follow her shot. That's to...
And finally, this clip against the Atlanta Dream exposed her. The more you watch that clip, the more obvious it is. The game was already done as the Chicago Sky were up 7 points with only a few seconds left on the clock. However, Reese needed one more point to get a double-double and continue her streak. So she kept calling for the ball as if they were on the verge of losing, not to mention the disgraceful flop at the end of the play. It's absolutely shameful that instead of trying to develop her game and become a better player, Angel Reese has chosen to pad stats and make it seem like she's a top player. But perhaps it's not surprising considering her past. Since coming into the WNBA, Reese has drawn a lot of attention to herself and the league, but more often than not, it's always for the wrong reasons. She seems to be so obsessed with the attention that she doesn't care how it comes about. She just wants to get it at all costs. First, she started off by trying to take some credit for the increase in WNBA viewership, something that everyone knows Caitlin Clark is responsible for.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
She got the attention she wanted, but it was pretty clear she didn't have the talent to compete with Clark. Now, it's her obsession with double-doubles and the lengths she would go to pad her stats and keep her streak alive. Don't get me wrong though, she is a great rebounder, and it takes a lot of heart and hustle to do what she's doing, but she really needs to work on her offensive game. For now, she can flaunt her record as the player with the most consecutive double-doubles in WNBA history. But of course, the street is never gonna forget that clip at the end of the game against the Atlanta Dream. In other words, whenever someone mentions that record in the future, we'll also be reminded of her stat padding. What do you guys think about Angel Reese? Her and Caitlin's rivalry has been compared to a previous rivalry in the NBA. Check out this video to find out.